This is the world's oldest brand new coin. That sounds a bit contradictory, but coins with exactly this design, including the date, have been minted continuously since 1780 through to the present. This type of coin was in circulation in more than 30 countries across the globe during a span of over 2 centuries, and its history will take us through radioactive elements, World War II in Africa, and much more. This is the story of the Maria Theresa Thaler. Let's explore. Let's start with the coin itself. The Maria Theresa Thaler weighs about 28 grams, or just under 1 US ounce, and is made of 5 parts silver to 1 part copper. The design features the Habsburg monarch Maria Theresa, ruler of Austria and many other places, her coat of arms, a Latin inscription with her titles, and her Latin motto on the edge to prevent people from scraping silver off the coin's edges. The design of the coin, including the date and the minter's mark, has stayed the same since 1780, the year of Maria Theresa's death. Many coins used in German-speaking areas in the early modern period are called thalers. In medieval Europe, silver coins were quite small, usually under 6 grams, but in the 14 and 1500s, the discovery of new silver deposits enabled much larger coins closer to 30 grams. One of these coins was the Joachimsthaler, minted by Count Stefan Schlick and named for the town of Joachimsthal, now known as Yakimov in Czechia, where his silver was mined. The mineral Pitchblende was discovered in the waste rock from the very same mine, and is the mineral from which the elements uranium, radium, and polonium were first isolated. Schlick's Joachimsthalers became popular across Europe, and the short version of their name, Thaler, came to refer to any silver coin of about the same size. Since Joachimsthal means Joachim's Valley, the word Thaler means of the valley, and is related to the English word dale. The concept of the thaler made its way across Europe to Spain, which in 1497 introduced thaler-size 8 real coins, which came to be known as Spanish dollars, also called pesos and pieces of 8. Thanks to the rich silver mine of Potosí in modern Bolivia, silver Spanish dollars became the predominant currency in the Americas, and saw use across the world. The 26 present-day currencies named dollar and the 8 named peso derive their name from the Spanish dollar. While Spain was making dollars, many small German states were still making thalers. Thalers became a standard currency of the Holy Roman Empire with the 1566 Reichsthaler, weighing 1/8 of a Cologne mark, just under 30 grams, and the same weight as the Joachimsthaler, and being 8/9 silver. The first thalers featuring Maria Theresa, minted in 1741, followed this same standard. In 1754, Maria Theresa and Maximilian III Joseph of Bavaria agreed to replace the Reichsthaler with the Conventionsthaler, which was slightly lighter and contained slightly less silver, 1/10 of a Cologne mark instead of 1/9. By the time of Maria Theresa's death in 1780, the Conventionsthalers bearing her image had made their way to the Ottoman Empire and the Arabian Peninsula, particularly as payment for coffee, and from there spread through Arab trade networks farther into Asia and into Africa. To facilitate foreign trade, Maria Theresa's son and successor, Joseph II, continued to mint thalers with his mother's image, and Austria basically just never stopped making them, producing them long after Napoleon dismantled the Holy Roman Empire in 1806. Even after thalers ceased to be legal tender in Austria itself in 1858, the mint in Vienna continued minting Maria Theresa thalers for anyone who brought in enough silver, for a small fee. Because they were easy to acquire and of consistent quality, especially when compared to the Spanish dollars, which were often made with less than the official amount of silver, the Maria Theresa thalers had by then become the coin of choice in places from Nigeria to Borneo. The Italians used Maria Theresa thalers to fund their first invasion of Ethiopia, beginning in 1895, and to pay reparations to the Ethiopians after Italy's eventual defeat. Ethiopian Emperor Menelik II minted his own birr coins to compete with the thalers, but there were just too many thalers in the country for the birr to compete. After the fall of the Austro-Hungarian Empire in 1918 after World War I, the new Republic of Austria eventually took up minting new Maria Theresa thalers. But in 1935, Benito Mussolini pressured the Austrians into allowing fascist Italy to mint thalers to fund another invasion of Ethiopia, and to stop taking foreign orders for the coins. In response, France, Britain, Belgium, and the Netherlands began minting thalers as well, reasoning that they weren't technically doing anything illegal because the coins weren't legal tender in Austria anyway. During World War II, the British minted nearly 19 million Maria Theresa thalers in Bombay to fund the liberation of East Africa, and the American OSS Intelligence Agency minted some of its own for use in Indonesia. The Maria Theresa thaler continued to be legal tender all the way up through 1970 in Oman, when it was finally replaced with a new local currency, but it still circulated in some communities at least into the 1980s, a full 200 years after the death of Maria Theresa herself. The Thaler is a protected coin under the 1981 UK Forgery and Counterfeiting Act, and a 1982 record by a UN official states that a particular shepherd in rural Ethiopia was paid 12 thalers a year for his duties. The Austrian mint still produces several thousand a year for collectors, apparently including me. I bought this one from a major US retailer's website for under $40, including shipping, which is a bit more than the price of the silver in it, but I say it's worth it to teach us all some history. It's an interesting exercise to compare this curious coin to current currencies. Today's so-called fiat currencies derive value from the trust in the governments that print them. The Maria Theresa Thaler outlasted its government by more than half a century, and derived its value from being made of shiny stuff that everyone seems to want for some reason. Of course, there's also Bitcoin, legal tender in El Salvador alongside the US dollar, which derives its value from hard math problems and wild speculation, so maybe the idea of money at all doesn't really have to conform to any particular standard, as long as it's actually usable. And though the Thaler has been pretty much entirely replaced as actual circulating money, it's still a neat connection to history and to places around the world. And as always, thanks for watching.